Be the right club. Be the right club today.
Johnny, that's better than most.
How about in?
That is better than most. Better than most.
Expect anything different?
To the No Laying Up live show, live from the Kill House. As you can see in the physical establishment, I will be hosting substitute teaching tonight. It is the Beluga Icarito, Neil Schuster, joined by Mr. TC himself. TC, what's going on?
Gentlemen, great to be here. Substitute teacher Neil in the house. Randy and I will roam free this evening.
And making a triumphant return to his PGA Tour roots and coverage, Mr. Big himself. Randy, how are you?
I'm great, guys. TC, we should have switched up our names, seeing if the substitute teacher noticed.
Well, I let the people know online that we're going to go over last week's homework, and then we're just going to roll the TV and VCR into the classroom and maybe watch some Seinfeld reruns or things. We're not taking it super serious this week, but our show is brought to you by High Noon. High Noon Sunsips, the presenting sponsor of the No Laying Up live show. And you know what? They're here. New High Noon tequila seltzers made with real Blanco tequila and real juice. Listen, I love the vodka, but I'm excited about the tequila. And with Cinco de Mayo, just a few days ago, I might have had a few. So what are you guys drinking tonight? What's the flavor we're going with?
I got a strawberry tequila seltzer. My guy Hitter Blanco tequila, always refreshing. Perfect day here in Jax. Couldn't match up better with the High Noon.
I love
Neil,
it. Randy, what do you got?
Yeah, me and all the boys, we got through the tequila, so had to run and grab some vodka Sunsips. This is a watermelon flavor, which is perfect.
I'm right there with you. I'm on a peach vodka tonight. I think the boys ran through the tequila downstairs in the Kill House as well. But no worries. They're all 100 calories, gluten free, no added sugar. So look out for the tequilas. They're hitting shelves. They should be hitting shelves all over the country this month with the arrival of Cinco de Mayo. And you can look for High Noon on Drizzly or at your local convenience/liquor store, or just visit highnoonspirits.com to find a location carrying High Noon near you. All right, gentlemen, results from around the golf world. On the PGA Tour, Wyndham Clark runs away with the Wells Fargo Championship in Charlotte. LPGA, we have Thailand and Australia squaring off in the finals of the International Crown. USA versus Sweden in the third place match. That is live right now on the West Coast. We'll get to that towards the end of the show. I know Mr. Big and TC were out there mixing it up with the commish
And Cody.
this week. And Cody. And of course, you know what? I forgot to introduce Cody. Cody's working the ones and twos as always tonight. Hardest working producer in the game. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all that you do, Cody. On the DP World Tour, Adrian Meronk wins the Italian Open by one shot over, is it Romain
Langasque.
TC, I appreciate your help on that one. I struggle with my pronunciation. And then on the Corn Ferry Tour, we've got, I think they're on a 2-week break. So nothing doing over there. The Live squad is off this week as well. So let's start with the Wells Fargo. Wyndham Clark. And I want to shout out to Torvisor13 on Twitter. Said, I couldn't say anything better, quote, big day for Wyndham Rewards members everywhere. And I think that kind of sums it up. So, little shaky on the front nine today. But then he makes a big birdie on the almost drivable 8th hole. Really, really good up and downs on 10 and 11. The one on 11 was really good, short-sided bunker. And then he stretches the lead there. Xander's all over the map off the tee early in the back nine. And then I think he shoots, 3-4 under on the back and kind of runs away with it, 4-shot lead. So what do you guys think? What does this Wyndham Clark win do for you? Randy, let's start with you.
Well, it's just
Can't wait to hear this.
Yeah, well, I think we got to start. It's just a really proud day for me. Wyndham was on my I had drafted him many moons ago on the old competition that we used to run, and so it's nice to see him graduating to success. But in all seriousness, I was really curious, obviously chasing his first win, sleeping on a lead, a guy like Xander, some other big names on the leaderboard, a golf course that can be difficult. There were, some shockingly high numbers, both, for total round plus a lot of damage that could go that could be done on certain holes. So my big thing was how's he going to respond to this? And when Xander nosed ahead on the front nine, I think I kind of expected Wyndham to go away. So I was super impressed with how he regrouped, made those 4 birdies to start the back nine, and I mean, just ended all the drama. So honestly, kudos to him. I can't think of a more impressive, weirdly stress-free first PGA Tour victory in recent memory. Really, really, yeah, just impressive.
TC, what say you?
He's been playing some golf, man. He hasn't missed a cut since October of last year. I know cuts aren't as important as they used to be in this new PGA Tour, world. But solo 5th at the Valspar, turns around, goes down to Punta Cana. Wasn't even in the elevated event. He goes to Punta Cana. Solo 6th there, and then 3rd at the team event in New Orleans. So pretty good season overall, but just hadn't broken through for that win. He's 29 years old, kind of I hesitate to call him a late bloomer because he was really good at Oklahoma State, and I think he was really good at Oregon. Cameron Morfitt had a really good article on PGAtour.com just about how he's kind of turned around his attitude. I think that was kind of the rap on him here over the last few years. It was just, he got way, way down on himself, very negative. It sounded like he got into the self-help book game, Neil. I'll try you with a couple of these here. Let's see here, book-wise, Neil, because I know you're a huge, huge self-help book guy. The obstacle,
self-help.
Yeah, The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday, and
Sure.
The Energy Bus by John Gordon.
Ryan Holiday, he's like the Stoic master. It's the old Stoics from the Roman Empire. You got to lie like dogs. Keep yourself honest, stay humble, stay hungry. Just don't get out over your skis in life. Is basically, I would say, the moral of the story. I'm sure some commenters are going to flame me for my roundup of stoicism there. Randy, I feel like you might be a Stoic.
I meant to mention this off the top. Of the group, I think I'm the only one with actual student teaching or substitute teaching experience. So, Neil, I wanted to congratulate you, but certainly you have to bring some stoicism into the classroom as a substitute teacher. I actually didn't, good for Wyndham. It's crazy. As a little tease, we were out at TPC Harding Park, which we'll get to, and we recorded a podcast with Lilia Vu, and Lilia also big into the self-help books. They've been instrumental in kind of her figuring things out and get to a much better place. So we'll absolutely never knock that. I love people reading. Good for Wyndham. I honestly, I don't know much about stoicism, so I can't go further with the bit there. But no, that's, good for him. And, just from the telecast too, I know his mom played a big role in his life, and this was a special win on that front as well. So
yeah, mom passed away of breast cancer when he was at Oklahoma State, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, TC, I think you rounded it up pretty well. I mean, since the RSM, he's had 5 top 10s. It seems like his game's been trending well. He's 25th in total strokes gained heading into this week. I didn't realize this. He's 8th in driving distance. I mean, this was kind of news to me this week. Maybe you guys are going to flame me for it, but I didn't realize he hit the ball so far. I mean, he's averaging 312 off the tee, but he was kind of all over the ballpark today. I feel like even down the back nine when he's making birdies, he was in at least, 3 or 4 not good spots, off the tee. It feels like he was kind of missing left. He and Xander were both kind of had the two-way miss going. So again, I think he for someone trying to track down their first win, I'm really impressed with how he's getting the ball up and down and, kind of righting the ship before just kind of zooming off with the win.
Yeah, I think overall, I mean, I'm not going to lie, like this week kind of sucked. It's just like it's just not an interesting event. Like I have Quail Hollow fatigue. It's just like, it just doesn't do anything for me, man. and like
I'd
slapping
love
a
to.
designated label on it and just calling it a designated event. Like it's not going to fly for me.
Yeah, I'd love to. Maybe we don't have to dig in right this second, but that
Well,
is
we'll unpack it
interesting.
in just a second. Before you guys take over the class here, I want to get us back on my teaching plan. I do have a question. So Wyndham Clark, as we mentioned, first time winner. Before this, what would you say? What was your what first thing that comes to mind with Wyndham Clark? You're like a memory from the golf course from the last, I don't know, 5 years.
Neil,
I mean,
hand up. I don't know if I have one.
Well,
In
I was
all
kind of
honesty, do you have one?
Yeah, I do. I have him trying to go for it from behind the trees at the Honda, and just like one of the worst decisions ever on 18 from like the right side of the fairway. He's just like in jail, and he decided to like try to send it, and he hit it in the water, and dropped like 3 spots on the leaderboard. And I asked that question because it's one of these, like, he's clearly been playing really good golf, but we watch a ton of golf and we don't know much about him. So I'm wondering, as these designated events, we could talk about whether we're slapping a label on an event that doesn't matter, but this does elevate a guy like Wyndham Clark from maybe that, I don't know, maybe mule category into mini pony category, or was he already a mini pony moving into thoroughbred category? Where do you guys stand on that?
I think he's a mini pony. I mean, one win does not make a thoroughbred.
No, I don't think it makes him a thoroughbred, but it certainly seems like he has the tools to win again. It's just, winning so hard. I don't know, Neil. I think that's something that I jotted down for myself is, I guess I'm most curious to see what's next for Wyndham. Can he keep the strong run of play going, throughout this PGA Tour season? He's never finished inside the top 70 in a major. He's missed, I think, 3 out of 5 cuts in majors. But he's going to have a lot more opportunities. He obviously gets into the Masters next year. I think that's, are we going to see him in contention in a big spot like that? But I wish I knew the answer. I don't know the answer. I think if I had to guess, maybe he picks off another winner or two, over the next several years. But I don't think I'm ready to anoint him in that. Certainly not a thoroughbred, and I'm not even sure I'd put him in that tier below just yet either.
And really, given all the news breaking out of Churchill Downs this week, I'm not even sure that we can consider thoroughbreds at this point. With all of them,
he might not want to be one. Yeah, they might put him down. Exactly.
Yeah. It was a tough week for the horses. I will echo that sentiment, TC. But Randy, to your point, I don't think this win, if you start looking at the stats, like it didn't really sneak up. I mean, he's been trending. So now, did it take him over 100 starts to get there? Sure. But it's back to the self-help books and guys that had a great college career, get on tour, struggle, and then find their way. I have so much respect for that, knowing how many guys don't do that. Like, we've talked about that with Max. I think we've talked about it recently with Jason Day. It's like seeing guys kind of go through it a little bit, wallow, and then break out again is an easy thing for me to root for. So I'm hoping this is a sustained thing.
I think, he also switched from PXG over the last couple of years. I can't help but think that was probably helpful in his development, because I think he's been playing that like since Oregon.
Do you think he got discharged? Did he go AWOL? What's going on there? Neil, that Max Homa, I think that's maybe best case for Wyndham. You think back like 3 years, and Max is about 3 years older than Wyndham. Max picks up his first win at the Wells Fargo. I think, a little bit like Wyndham. I think we all kind of saw that Max Homa victory coming. He had started to play really well. And so, fast forward a few years, and Max has five PGA Tour wins now, 6 PGA Tour wins. I guess there's certainly a universe where Wyndham Clark could go on a similar run over the next 2-3 years. I think that's what I'm just really curious about is he going to kind of add to the depth that is American golf with the team competitions and all of that stuff?
Well, before we move on to the Quail Hollow fatigue, I do want to get there because I think I have a few things to say there. I want to give a shout out to our next sponsor. Tonight's show is also brought to you by the Titleist TSR drivers, the most played driver on the PGA Tour for the last 4 seasons and counting. Every week on tour, more players game a Titleist driver than any other brand. 33% of the field this week at Wells Fargo was in a Titleist driver, including champion Wyndham Clark. Again, guys, that's 1/3 of the field. That's a pretty big number. The most popular driver model on PGA Tour is the TSR3, which TC, I believe you're gaming. I'm gaming. I love it.
Shit out of it, Neil.
It also happens to be the choice of our friend KVV, who recently got dialed into one of Titleist's TSR3s by an expert fitter. We posted a video this week of KVV's full bag fitting on YouTube, and we will be giving away a free TSR driver fitting and a free driver to our favorite comment on KVV's fitting video. So here's how to win. You go to the YouTube channel, No Laying Up, you subscribe, you watch the video, you leave a comment you think we'll like. Randy, what kind of comments do you think we like?
I think it's gotta be humorous.
Pithy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe a deep cut, an old joke, a callback. We always like those.
Droll, if you want to be a little sarcastic, we like that.
Yeah.
But don't get mean.
I will say,
don't make me read a ton of stuff. I hate it when I have to read too much. Don't write me a poem. That's cheap. We don't like that. But
there's a lot of chatter about KVV's divot pattern in there. So just know that that stuff is in there. He's pretty sensitive about it right now. I think that's pretty well-worn territory, no pun intended, in that comments section already. So if you're going to come with a divot comment, be sure it's a good one.
Yeah, for sure. So go leave a comment. We're going to select a winner and announce it on next Sunday's podcast, and we'll announce it on Twitter as well. But that's a free driver fitting and a free TSR driver. So go get involved on the YouTube channel. All right, TC.
Straight up, like personal testimonial. I played like a ton of golf over the last 3 weeks. I mean, Randy, you can attest. I'm driving the shit out of the ball.
TC's not missing. He's just not missing. And I'll say this too. It's scary, Neil. TC's got the driver off the deck working too. That is
always scary.
It's really impressive. TC, I will ride with you on that.
We're going to get there. We're going to do a little deep dive into each of our golf games at the end of this pod. Kind of I don't know, like a 33% of the year check-in. But first, TC, let's talk about the course a little bit. I'd like to unpack, because I agree with you in a big way. Hold on, I got Cody chiming in. Cody, what can we do here?
Yeah, just one thing before we get off of Wyndham. Boyd Summerhays coaches 3 professional golfers: Tony Finau, Taylor Gooch, and Wyndham Clark. All of them are these kind of late bloomers in life, obviously having huge success this year. And I want to think maybe Boyd's got something. I don't know what he's got going on, what their regimen's like, but there seemed to be a lot cooking for the boys from Scottsdale. So I think it's pretty cool because Boyd doesn't really get a lot of run. Obviously, Tony, talk about him an awful lot. Taylor's doing phenomenal things, but it's awesome to see Wyndham get there. Anyway, on to Quail.
I love it. Thank you, Cody. Great intel right there. So Quail Hollow, I want to unpack it a little bit because I find it, when I look at the course, it's pristine. Like, I want to start with the good. It looks immaculate. And I find the greens to be like some of the biggest on tour that I like. When you watch it on and they show the blimp and the drone shots, it's like, whoa, these greens are massive. There's not a mark on them. I know they have like the different
They're about
colors
to rip them up. They're about to rip them
but
up and redo the greens in the bunkers again.
Well, I'm just talking about, we'll start with what we see, the visuals. And when they show that drone shot of the Green Mile and how big the lake is, it is an overpowering, it feels like a big ballpark, which, there's something to like about that. And it's very green, which, you could like or dislike that. For me, though, the course runs together, and other than maybe 14, 15, that par 5 up the hill, and 18, I can't really name you another hole. They maybe the kind of drivable 8th hole, but I'm unsure. Like it's like I don't want to unnecessarily like dog on the place, but it doesn't really do it for me. And TC, I'm wondering if you have any more of a reason, like why am I feeling that way, or why are you? I think
some of it's just fatigue. Like you get shoved the same thing, you get served the same thing for enough meals in a row, or enough. You go back to the same restaurant enough, you're probably going to get sick of it unless it's an excellent restaurant. First of all, I don't think this is an excellent restaurant. I think it's just like a pretty vapid, big ballpark. And secondly, like, we have a tournament there every year with this. We had the President's Cup there. We had the PGA Championship there. It's like, I'm good on Quail Hollow, guys. Like, there's a lot of other really, really good golf courses with a lot of logistics potential. I realize Charlotte shows out from a corporate hospitality standpoint. But yeah, it's weird. Like I remember when they first came out with this event, I think it was like 04 maybe. David Toms won it. He was up by 8 going into 18. They made a quad and still won by 4. And everybody was like, this course is sick. It's awesome. And like, I still feel that way. Like, I think it's a good tournament golf course. I just don't need to like, I'm just tired of watching these guys play it. Like after the President's Cup last year. And it's like, there's just nothing unique about it. I think it's Cheesecake Factory. Exactly.
For sure. Randy, anything to add there?
Yeah, I feel similarly, and I don't know why that is. TC, I'm a lot like you. Some of it is the overexposure.
You also hate Charlotte because it's the fake Queen City,
and I have
lost.
And that's
Randy
right.
loves Wells Fargo. I mean, he was trying to do a deal, like a data deal with them. He wanted to give him like our email newsletter list and open up some
They're
checking
trustworthy.
accounts.
They told me everything's good. I think so. I think it suffers from. Well, I know that. Hopefully, the people know that. I think it suffers from. Yes, it's supposed to be a wonderful course. It looks immaculate. At the end of the day, there's not much soul. I mean, in my mind, it always kind of sits next to, and I realize this might be a little blasphemous, but I feel a little bit about Muirfield Village the same way as I do Quail Hollow. I think Muirfield's got some more interesting holes. But yeah, Quail, it just never grabs my imagination. Yeah. There's just something lacking there. And
it's long par 3s. It's long par 4s. It's like, I had a friend this week text. He said, cannot possibly be a worse golf course for how much money they spend in the country than Quail Hollow. It's Rich Harvest Farms with an extra $30 million poured into it. I was there on Monday and Tuesday this week. I wouldn't play there if my option was a free round of golf or staying at home in my office.
You're just reading Andy's text to you?
No, it was not Andy. Andy was not on
site. Just want to make sure.
Well, yeah, it's just like, hey, if you want to watch PGA players at like the nicest country club, and not really, I mean, it's exclusive, but not like mega exclusive, then that's Quail Hollow for you. And I just think there are a lot more interesting options. Now, I guess I'll throw it back to you two, and Neil, maybe I'll throw this into the mix. Is I feel like this is the one elevated event that just it's like the elevated status doesn't really add anything to it for me. You know,
I would agree. I would say I don't feel quite as I don't know, vapid watching the Memorial. I feel like Muirfield has a lot more twists and turns to it. It catches my eye on TV. I feel like that course plays a little bit harder too. I don't know. It's more exciting. That tournament feels more exciting to me. The one that I would liken it to, and we got a question from Tom Steiner Evans on Twitter. Which course is more boring to watch, Torrey or Quail? I feel like it's Torrey Pines without the ocean. So Torrey has the ocean going for it, but I think the same issue with both courses, overexposure. We get it for the US Open. We get it every year for the Farmers. A lot of straight holes, a lot of like long par 4s. Yeah, some iconic holes, but almost for the wrong reasons. Like I could picture like 18 at Torrey Pines. Like, I don't think that's a good hole, but like, I guess it leads to some drama at the end. And I feel like I think Quail is more boring than Torrey, but that would be the comp I would have with another course on tour, like in this kind of elevated tier of tournament.
I feel like Muirfield has 14, which is a super cool hole. It's got some like nines cool. Like there's places to get in trouble at Muirfield. There's a lot more personality to Muirfield. I feel like, Hazeltine's a good comp. Even Eastlake a little bit. Like Charlotte's not a great golf city for how, just like Atlanta. Like it's not a great golf city for how good the weather is, how good the land is, how affluent it is. Like there's really not, a ton going on there. I think this one suffers from like, it's kind of in that no man's land on the calendar too, where, your post-Masters, your pre-PGA, people kind of check out for a little bit. NBA playoffs are on, people are kind of getting back to the course, starting to play in every part of the country as well. you know, and I think there's probably some, like, you know, everybody's looking, like, I know Cody's looking ahead to this week at TPC, Craigor Ranch, and then we've got Oak Hill, you know, so it's just not a very dynamic part of the calendar, I guess.
Yeah, I would say too. I mean, first designated event that hasn't felt like a, you know, air quotes big deal. I would probably agree with you there, Randy. Maybe that's a me problem, because I do want to shout out the Charlotte fans. Like, a lot of people out there, a lot of juice. It looked like on the grounds, they're thrilled to have the tournament. I think TC nailed it. Like, the kind of business community seems to rally around the tournament. Everyone I know from Charlotte raves about it. They love it. They love going to it. So it's a good hometown event. And we talked about that a little bit with like the Honda and how important that was to the local community. I feel like, you know, Charlotte, hey, you know, Bobcats haven't been great. Like, you know, big sporting event comes to town, city shows up for it.
They're
right?
the Hornets. Yeah.
Hornets, excuse me. Bobcats, Hornets. That's a me problem. That's how bad they've been. That's how bad they've been.
Neil's going to start talking about Panthers coach Ron Rivera here pretty soon.
No, you know what? Listen, I got a lot going on. I got a room full of kids that aren't paying attention to me. I'm trying to keep them interested.
Neil, I agree with what you're saying. I think we're getting a little like designated event fatigue. I think we thought that they were going to be fucking amazing. And you said that this was the first kind of stinger for you. I actually don't really agree with that. I think RBC, outside of like the back nine on Sunday, absolutely stunk. Like, everybody had very much Masters fatigue.
The course
it
is
was like,
interesting, though.
Yeah, I agree.
The course better. I mean,
it had something. It had something going for it. And then late on Sunday, like, the leaderboard completely started jumping around and like it got exciting. This just, I think it doesn't have a lot going for it.
If we have a duel down the stretch here on the Green Mile, we probably feel differently. So it's the first time, you know, maybe some of these events the past 3 months have gotten a little get out of jail free card with just a really, really good finish. I think Torrey definitely had that with Max charging to victory. So I mean, that's gonna happen, right? But it didn't
head
feel
off
like
to Wyndham too, like
for sure.
19 under on a par 71 golf course is fucking outrageous. Like, that's not an easy golf course, and he just went and got it. I think the other thing is, like, it was just a weird, kind of a smashed together leaderboard. There's not a whole lot of like great themes merging. Like, I feel absolutely nothing when I watch Xander Schauffele play golf. Randy, your guy, can I go down the leaderboard for a sec?
Well, that's where I wanted to get to.
Yeah. I mean, turn him loose.
Before we go there, TC, I do want to have a little discussion about Xander, though. Like, should we expect more out of him being in the final group? Or is this who he is? Or does he get a pass for winning some big events last season?
No. Yeah, we should absolutely expect more.
I agree with you. I just wanted to make sure that I'm not the only one that's disappointed. But I thought that was a poor showing, two-way miss off the tee. I think from like number 9 through 12 or 13, he missed 4 or 5 fairways in a row. So he was just all over the yard. And he just, you know, he allowed, like, when Wyndham wasn't playing even that well, he allowed Wyndham to like extend his lead, which is a tough scene a little bit.
Big, how do you feel about Xander? I know you've been in the past.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything for me. Let me just start there. I you know, would love to take this opportunity to flame him, and, you know, the guy can't win. He does, but I do have to recognize, I think Wyndham, TC, like you said, going out and shooting 19 under, I feel like this was more of a case of, listen, Wyndham just went and won this golf tournament. I did expect a little bit more fight out of Xander, especially after he got the lead on the front 9, which was disappointing. I think net, my whole thing with Xander is he for how good he is and the talents, I feel like he has underperformed what we would expect out of him. And that's tough to say for somebody that's won 7 times on tour. Again, that's like a phenomenal career for, I don't know, 95% of guys that ever earn a PGA Tour card. But it's just, I don't know. He doesn't make me feel a whole lot. I just keep waiting for that real big breakthrough.
It kind of feels like Ricky did for a while, but without the marketing.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like to me. Yeah, it feels a little hollow.
Really good golfer, but man, like what does that mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's all you gotta win.
Last year I was picking him, you know, the last 2 years until this year, like, oh, he's gonna win a major, and I've kind of just like, given up and said, I'm not going to be there when he does. But he's like a top 5, top 10 machine, So a little bit of the same criticism you guys had for Big Tone in the past. I mean, I guess more wins, but there's a lot of limited field wins in there too. So it's just kind of disappointing because he does have like a boatload of game.
Randy, who would you take if the chips were
down?
Big Tone or Xander?
I honestly think I would take Big Tone.
I would too.
And I can't believe I'm saying that. Yeah.
Boomerang takes. You give TC and Randy enough time, and that those takes are going to come full circle, people.
Now, that's not a full throaty endorsement of Mr. Finau, but I think if the chips are down, I think I'd rather have Finau in my foxhole.
All right, TC, take us down the leaderboard. What do we got? Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you one more time. I do have a question. This one's for Mr. Big. Next guy down the list here is Harris English. He is indeed once again flushing it from Tim J. Ongill. How much of English's play can be attributed to the coronation? Randy,
that's a great question.
I mean, that's the question right there. I think you got to attribute a good amount to it. I think I know he was chuffed. He probably, he made sure he got a later tee time. I'm sure he was up early. I got to think he was very excited today. And then a couple English blokes right behind him. I think they were all riding a wave of coronation high.
I mean, God save the king, baby. Chucky right. Three Sticks he's on the throne these days, and Harris English is flushing it again. I mean, all is right in the kingdom. I love it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we can be totally sure that Harris is flushing it. He's got some uneven results. He's kind of been strikes and gutters this year. Had that really impressive performance at Arnold Palmer where he didn't make a fucking bogey all week, which was insane. And then hasn't really done much since. Didn't really do a whole lot before that. I need to see more before we declare that he's flushing it.
Yeah, my source from Sea Island has not told me, listen, Harris is absolutely flushing the ball. So I cannot confirm that, but he is playing some pretty good golf.
So we'll be waiting on Randy's little birds to get back to him. He's sent a couple of bat signals out to get word back. TC, I'm just going to get out of the way now. Down there at T5, we're going to skip right over Lord T-Rail. Tommy Ladd, another T5. Good, actually a strong finish today. With a 65 on? No, 70.
No, he shot 70 today.
70 today. Yeah. What do you have to say for Tommy Ladd?
I have to say he's playing great golf, and he's rounding into form for Oak Hill.
We got to be critical.
This is bullshit. If you're going to do this to Xander, this is the exact same fucking argument.
It's long past time we hold Tommy's feet to the fire. It's inexcusable.
It is, TC.
He's
for how
Paul
good
Casey
he's hitting
without any wins. It's horrible.
He's got big dick wins on the Euro Tour.
We're not doing that tonight, TC.
No,
we're not.
Come on, guys.
We're not doing that. No. You guys can't use the bathroom. Season. You guys need to sit down
till the end of the season.
Do your homework.
He's had more than enough time.
He's playing really good golf right now, guys. And I know I just said that. What does that mean for Xander? Listen, I don't know what that means for Tommy, but I believe in Tommy. I don't believe in Xander.
But what does that mean?
In Tommy.
I don't know what that means, though. What does that mean you believe in him? Help me understand
I believe that. I'm confident that he is going to win this year. And if not a major, he will win a big dick event this year.
TC, the part of this that bothers me, because I like Tommy too, and I love his caddy, the quad father, Mr. Finau. Everybody loves Tommy, but these final round showings are not good. It's a Sunday issue, and that's the problem I have. We had what is going on Sundays, and I need to hear you be critical of him. Some tough love.
I have been critical of him. You guys are just trying to cherry pick here. It's ridiculous. I'm not seeing all right. Final rounds
Simon,
this year.
For anybody, Simon Fisher asks, how is Fleetwood not in Finau territory here? I think that's exactly. I think it's time. TC, I think you need to set the record straight here.
I'm just not seeing this final round issue that you speak of. He didn't play well at the Players. He shot a 76 on Sunday there, but otherwise, he shot 66, 65 on the weekend at the CJ Cup. T4 there.
DC, we are searching, man. The CJ
71,
Cup was
71 on Sunday at the RBC Heritage. He's played well on the DP World Tour. You guys You guys are haters. All right. Give me at least through LACC for Tommy. All right. Will you give me that?
What
Yes.
are
The
you
putter was an issue.
Well, what are you going to give us?
Yeah. What are you going to
I
give
will
us?
give you.
After
I will give you
LACC,
a
what will you
formal apology. I will get on the live show and in a suit and tie and formally apologize. A black tie formal apology.
All right, Cody, can we get that written down somewhere here in the back end? That was coat and tie, formal apology. TC, can we get the blue screen, the blue curtains behind you too, like the backdrop, I want the whole thing, just a very formal apology.
By the way, Neil, like, why is nobody flaming your boy Tyrrell Hatton?
Don't obfuscate. Tyrrell Hatton's been like a big money player. Has he won? Not really, but a guy's banking checks. He feels to me he looks like a boxer, and he kind of plays like a prize
How is
fighter.
that any different than Tommy? Tommy has more top 10s and majors than Tyrrell.
I would say that I don't ride for Lord Tyrrell. I find him entertaining because I just say that he beats himself up. He's Opus Dei. There's a big difference. I find him entertaining, but I'm not picking him every week, and I'm not riding for him. I'm not evangelizing Hatton. Randy, am I off base with that?
The guy finished top 5, and you're shitting all over him.
Well, we're gonna need a win, Tommy. Sorry, if you're that, we're just gonna need a win.
No, it's a great finish. My point was like we just spent 5 minutes flaming Xander for a top 5, and Tommy's,
nobody's calling Tommy a top 5 player in the world. Like everybody's calling Xander one, right?
All right. Well, TC, I'm gonna give you 2 more minutes of leaderboard time.
I have this year Tommy Fleetwood ranks 144th in final round scoring average.
That's not good. Fine. Listen,
not great, but
it's May. Okay, we have 3 or 4 more months left in the FedEx Cup season here.
We will revisit this after LACC. TC, you got yourself a deal.
I got a question for you guys real quick. Did any of you happen to tweet the link out to this show? Like out?
Yeah, I tweeted I did earlier on the NLU nolayingup.com/live.
First time we had somebody behind the scenes by the name of Steve. Now we have somebody back there by the name of Bob, completely trying to infiltrate this guy, trying to infiltrate the show. What? No clue what's going on.
Oh no, I haven't tweeted the what's it called out? But Cody, you got to hold the line for us, man.
I'm trying to. Maybe they're getting smarter, man. I don't know what's going on.
People, we're not taking
kick him out of the studio
these days.
We're not taking call-ins right now. Thank you, though. We appreciate the effort.
It's like the office is calling the classroom, Mr. Schuster, you forgot to take attendance. We're gonna need you to report your attendance, please.
Yeah, maybe it's Solly. He's trying to call in from Rome. Who knows, man? All right, TC. Before we go down the leaderboard anymore, let me thank our last partner.
Let me cook. God damn it.
Well, let me just thank the last partner, and then you can cook all you want. I think that's going to work out better for everybody. Hold on, let me amateur move. I didn't have my copy, but our next partner is Athletic Greens. I personally have been taking AG1 by Athletic Greens daily. I was training for a half marathon, so I gave AG1 a try because I wanted to get as healthy as I could for my training. Randy, something maybe you should think about for that marathon coming up in October.
Yes, absolutely. Actually,
it's remained. I ran the half marathon like a couple weeks ago, but I'm still taking AG1, and
no big deal.
Remained a great way to kick off the day. And now my wife is also taking AG1 with me.
So is mine.
And she's nice enough to mix it for me in a cold glass of water. We start the day with it. It's been a morning ritual. Yeah, it's nice, And then I have a cup of coffee. And I know it's shocking, Randy, but I've noticed that putting healthy stuff in my body makes me feel better throughout the day. A lot more energy. I feel like my gut health is better. I know gut health is important to you, big man. And something I also think you're going to appreciate. Sure. It costs less than $3 a day. And I know as a strap boy, you like that.
We like that. We like
that a lot. So it's an effective daily habit. It's not going to cost you a lot, and it's high quality sourced ingredients. I think that's a win-win-win. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/NLU. That's athleticgreens.com/NLU and check it out. All right, TC, go ahead and cook. Let's go down the leaderboard.
First of all, there's this lady in the comments, Debbie Elder. She led it off by saying that Xander's a small-time golfer. Now she's just saying Xander, small golfer.
That's my girl.
Debbie's
I'm
the
with
best.
you, Deb.
All-time comment.
Keep the heaters coming.
I'm with
Deb.
you, Deb.
I love it.
All right, another guy I want to get on a little bit because he's my boy, but I want to get on him a little bit for final round scoring average. Adam Scott. He's 105th in FedEx Cup this year, despite some really good play. He's also 144th in final round scoring average. Finishes T5, but final round 71 today. Michael Kim, ladies and gentlemen, two-time Korn Ferry Tour graduate, former Haskins Award winner. Kind of a similar career arc if he keeps this up to the pro. Max Homa, fellow Golden Bear there. Denny McCarthy continues to flash. T8 for him. Big riser on Sunday. Shot 66. KH Lee continues just solid play. T8 for him. The pro, speaking of the pro, holds the line. Third in the Comcast business top 10. I know Randy.
Hell yeah.
Big on tracking that.
Huge.
Just a really, really smooth week. 70, 67, 68, 70. Little Corey Connors kind of avenges his awful President's Cup showing at Quail Hollow and finishes T8 as well. Sungjae, really disappointing Sunday from Sungjae, shot 72. Big Tex, Jimmy Walker on the leaderboard. Sarge's boy, T14. Ricky Fowler, tough finish for him. Finishes T14, but gave away a couple shots coming in to take himself out of the top 5 and to cost DJ some nuggies there. Otherwise, not a whole lot going on. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Seamus Power. Otherwise, the Irish will get all over me. T18 for him. Cantlay, T21. Big Tone, T23. This course would seem like it sets up really, really well for Big Tone. I can see him winning here at some point. Tom Kim, of course, the breakout star of the President's Cup at Quail Hollow, T23. Cooch continues his run of just back to being Cooch, like top 20s and 30s, like
playing
crazy.
Good golf. It's I kind of like I like being in a world where Cooch is still relevant. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's nostalgic.
What else we got? Victor Hovland shot 77 today, final round 77. Little bunch of money on fire. Our buddy Zach Blair, T47. It was like a $50,000 T47. Pretty lucrative T47 there. So
that's cool.
Yeah. Otherwise, that's all I got.
TC,
bad
couple
week
things
for Sahith. Yeah,
I wanted to hit first is Adam Scott putted off the green on 14. Very cool. I just for a guy that hits it that good and he's, just throwing Tanimal stuff out, wearing whatever he wants. That putter is just unbecoming. I mean, it's blue now. I just wish my guy could, didn't have to use the broomstick, and it was tough to see him putt off the green. The other thing I wanted to ask you guys about, JT, how do we feel? T9 today, finished like, I think 4 over on the final 9, but feeling good. Is this, step in the right direction heading into, Oak Hill, or with that kind of back 9 on Sunday, are we disappointed in JT?
I think we talked about JT a little bit, like potentially not being totally healthy. I don't know. We'll see. I'm TBD on JT. I think we'll give him through Oak Hill and then kind of see where we land. Guy that disappointed me the most this week was Cameron Young.
Yeah, I had him
like second here last year, and kind of seemed like he was rounded into form after the Masters, and then just hasn't, isn't flashing like I thought he would.
And that's it. Got to disappoint Cody. I know Cody's been riding for him for months now. New caddy guy looks good at match play. I also thought Jason Day was going to make some noise this week, but
me too. Neil, I was just going to say some guys that missed the cut were mega disappointing to me.
Yeah,
these guys are playing so much golf.
Go ahead, Cody.
They're playing so much golf. There's got to be fatigue that sets in sometime. It's crazy their schedules right now. On Cam, super disappointed. But don't worry. Once we get to New York, everything's going to be fixed. So we'll be good to go there.
I think Rory's doing load management right now. Like,
for sure.
I think, he's looking forward to Oak Hill. I also wanted to new caddy on the bag this week for Cantlay.
Yeah.
Kind of an inauspicious start.
Is that a permanent thing?
Yeah.
So if the cat plays, did they announce like a total breakup or?
It said full time, I guess.
I'm not sure the
Wow.
cat's gonna be playing, man.
Okay, well that's interesting. Well, I mean, let's talk about like next year's Masters, Randy. I'm thinking ahead here. Like,
Sure.
if that's I feel like that would have been. I didn't see an announcement that they, aren't working together anymore, which is normally what would happen if this was a permanent thing.
Daniel Rappaport had it on. Yeah, he had a report on it. There were a few others floating around. I think there was some statements from Team Tiger saying that Joey called Cat gave his blessing, that sort of thing. But it sounds like it is a permanent deal.
Yeah,
so.
No, it's fine. That's fine. No,
Do you think Cat
feels right,
chips
Randy.
off Joey when he doesn't play, or is Joey just totally on his own?
I think he's got to have him on retainer, right? Or else
has to.
Cat's
No, I
so
gotta
cheap,
think
though.
they have it. I feel like they have to have some type of like, hey man, I'm just gonna pay you a salary kind of deal. All right. Anything else from Wells Fargo?
I got nothing for you, Neil.
Okay, good. So let's move on. LPGA International Crown. So final
Neil,
results.
I got one more thing. Big J
Okay.
met with the media. He went to the media center this week. First time in at least that I can remember that he's done that. It's almost like he's listening to the podcast or something. Adam Schupak wrote it up, said he was talking about several things, variety of different topics. Wearing the hoodie in there, trying to be
look at him in the hoodie.
Trying to be casual, informal, kind of, hey guys, here's some catnip for the ink stained wretches, a man of the people, Big J. Instead of just I'm only gonna meet with the media twice a year, and I'm gonna rely upon Rory and a few others to do my bidding for me. Props to the commish for doing that.
Well, listen, it does. This picture we got up here does feel a little bit like the presidential candidate in the diner. Working the booth a little bit at the Metro Diner. But, let's see. This is, more of this. I think it should be celebrated. Like, yeah, let's get out with the people.
Exactly.
What do you think, Randy?
Yeah, I'm curious. I would like to believe that sweatshirt was maybe a General Q sweatshirt, not a Quail Hollow sweatshirt, but I suspect it's Quail Hollow.
All right, we're moving on. LPGA International Crown. Again, tournament's still going on. You guys got an update for me? I'm running some bandwidth's running hot in the kill house, so I didn't want to turn the TV on.
Sarge just got us. You want to up to the second update via the LPGA app, Neil?
Sure. Is the LPGA app cooking like that?
Yeah. We can report. We are calling this. Madeline Sagstrom jumped on Lilia Vu and stayed on Lilia Vu, winning 5 and 4. That's
what young hitters do. That's what young
Tanya
hitters
Harding situation there.
Yeah, this is in the consolation match. So Sweden's got 1 point in the third place match. Currently, Lexi Thompson is 1 up on Maya Stark through 13 holes. And then the team of Kang Korda is 1 up on Nordquist Headwall. So U.S. looking to win that third place match. And then in the championship match, Ataya Titikum is all square through 11 with Stephanie Kiriako. Patty Tavatanikit is 2 up in her match over Hannah Green. And the Jutanagarn sisters are 3 up through 9 holes over Minji Lee and Sarah Kemp. So Thailand looking good in the championship.
Yeah, I thought
that's kind of sweet. Thailand,
I thought it was interesting that Australia sent out Kiriakou first in singles and saved Minji for. I also think it's interesting that Danielle's playing alt shot. She's not driving it all that well.
I know, which is like, can you hide somebody in alt shot? I thought the same thing, TC. Like if somebody's not playing well, what's the best place for them?
Bottom line, it was crazy to see Korea totally lay an egg in the pool play. Japan as well. Both of them just did not play well. I think we expected England to not play well after the late WDs. Bronte Law got up and spoke her mind a little bit to the media, which props to Bronte. I thought that was pretty shitty of Georgia and Charlie to WD and not call their teammates, tell them they were WDing.
WDing without like explanation. I think that's where the line is. And they've had like been talking and had like team chats and everything leading up to it. But it sounds like there is a very good reason for the WD. It's not my place to discuss it for one of them, but it'll eventually come out. I think the other thing too is, again, like schedule. The LPGA schedule is shit. And like they had 2 solid months off, and then all of a sudden it's like every single week they're jumping all across the United States here. So they need a little bit of time off, but this was just the wrong place, the wrong time, and complete lack of communication with your teammates to get the job done.
Which it's strange too that Georgia went over to Hawaii. Like if you're exhausted, like skip that event and then, play this. I get that there's probably less up at stake as far as purse too. The winning team gets $125,000 per player.
And no points. Like that's all it is repping your team and a little bit of cash.
Whereas the last place team, so like let's say you finish 8th, you get $32K a piece, which is still a high floor. But yeah, I don't know. It was a cool event. I think Harding Park was a great spot for it. The Swedes played exceptionally well in the pool play. They went 5-0-1. Just like great play there. The Australians came out firing. You guys are going to talk about it plenty on this week's LPGA pod that drops Thursday. But I was really impressed with the Australians, the Swedes, and then the Thai team is just like they got some killers.
The Jutanagarn sisters are unstoppable. Yeah. It's really impressive. Good to see Patty Tavatanakit still playing some good golf. Yeah, it's looking
killing
like
people, Randy, and smiling before they do it.
I know. It's looking like Team Thailand's probably going to take it, but they still have they're still on the back 9, so Australia could flip it.
Team USA got absolutely trounced on the first day. Just trounced.
Randy, I don't want to sorry, TC, go ahead.
It was kind of it was impressive that Team USA even made it through pool play after how bad they played on Thursday. and then they didn't meet with the media, which sucked too. You got to worry about some malcontents on that team.
I don't want to worry about you, or I don't want to steal your thunder for this week's LPGA episode, but I do want to ask you guys, just for my personal edification, you guys playing with the commish, new LPGA commish, and listen, I felt like she's been, kind of the forgotten woman a little bit the last year or so. How'd it go? You guys have any good conversations out there? What's the report back from Harding Park?
Randy, you want to lead it off?
Yeah, it was a great day. Props to the LPGA team for facilitating that. We had just in the interest of transparency, we had put in a request a couple months ago now. Hey, we'd love to interview Commissioner whenever we can. I don't think any of us had really met her. I'm trying to think. Maybe I'd shaken her hand. And
Cody and I met her briefly in Korea.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, but none of us really had any type of relationship or anything like that. So LPGA came to us and said, hey, I know you're going to be at Pebble Beach for the U.S. Women's Open Media Day. We'd love to invite you up to San Francisco, play in the Pro-Am. We'll put you with the commissioner, and it'll just allow you, 5.5 hours to get to know her, to talk to her. And it was time very well spent. First of all, I just want to say she was downplaying her golf game, and she has a super, super athletic move. I was very impressed. Hits the crap out of her driver. And so we played in the Pro-Am. I thought we had done good enough to win. Maya Stark, the pro we were playing with, chipped in for eagle on the 18th hole. And we thought at the time that got us into solo first at 15 under. We eventually got clipped by, I forget who the pro was, but one team got to 17 under, which props to that.
I think it was one of the Jutanagarn sisters.
Well, yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
So from a competitive standpoint, we had to settle for second place. Yeah, I think my big takeaways, and again, I know you mentioned it, Cody and I can unpack this a little bit more on the Thursday episode. I think the job is, I think the commissioner coming from totally outside of golf has just made the first year more difficult. I think she's trying to learn the landscape. And I think it just takes a little bit more time than somebody who would have come from within the world of golf. And so I don't think that's her fault. I don't think that's anybody's fault. I just think she probably needs a bit more time to get up to speed. I think the other thing she would admit, it's probably a harder job than perhaps she was even expecting. I think she was trying to come in eyes wide open, but TC, you had a chance to talk to her while Cody and I were doing the podcast, so I'll let you jump in here. But my sense is it's just like, hey, I have so much to learn. The first year was really just trying to get my feet underneath me and really get my arms around as much as possible everything going on in and around the LPGA Tour. And I'm hopeful now with, we're going into her second season. I think she's looking to really figure out what mark she wants to put on her regime and hopefully start to work towards those goals. So TC, I know you had a chance, like I said, to talk to her more. I'll let you jump in.
Yeah, I kind of went in, I don't know, with maybe some, not skepticism, but like asked her point blank about the stuff with Terry Duffy down at the CME, championship down in Naples, kind of with the miscommunication there. I asked her about the schedule, and it's kind of one of those things. I think, yeah, she was very humble about all. She's like, hey, hand up, like, buck stops with me. But I give her a lot of credit. Like, I think coming from outside of golf is big. Neil, she used to run Chelsea Piers back in the day where he used to play.
And before that or after that, Princeton athletic director.
Yeah.
Which I hate that. I absolutely hate that.
I know you were.
My
you
guy
were so
Peter Pilling up
skeptical
at
of
Columbia said no. He vouched for my my AD at Columbia. So I said, listen, I'm gonna let the trap draw squad figure it out. They're on the report. They're out there. Cody's with them. We're gonna figure this out for ourselves. So I'm happy to hear a good report.
No, she was super real. She was extremely candid. I walked away both rooting for her and like an unabashed supporter of her. Like, I think she's an athlete. Like, you can tell she played hockey and soccer growing up. Or like Randy said, her golf swing's good. I think, she said, she's like, hey, like, I need to get to know the players more. You can tell she was totally worn down by the end of last season. I think she went to, if not every event, almost every single event. So she was going into that Naples event, running on empty. I think she's well aware of the schedule stuff. It seemed like she was kind of like, hey, like, I'm trying to move LPGA into like LPGA 3.0, but she's used the last year to kind of assess the situation of when Juan took over, everything was kind of in shambles and there wasn't really a schedule. Like, there wasn't quantity or quality. Now there's a ton of quantity. They've got a full schedule. Now it's refining those events. And she said it a few times. She's like, we need to demand more of people. We need to stick up for ourselves more. We need to be, more just kind of like more choosy, more picky with our sponsors, more picky with the dates that we're given. Like we talked about a lot with the schedule. Sounds like they've got it worked out for next year, but this year she'd kind of said, hey, like, I'm not going to parachute in and change a bunch of stuff on the schedule because I don't really know, what needs to be changed yet. I would imagine next year's schedule looks a lot different than this year's. And yeah, I don't know. I walked away from it thinking, A, she's competent, B, she's a good communicator, at least interpersonally, and C, like, I'm very much in her corner at this point. She was more than generous with her time but also, like, she's got some tough shit on her plate, like between the looming Saudi issue and, venues with the LPGA Tour and, trying to figure out, like, we were asking her all about, is the Chevron really a major? Is Evian really a major? What do you do with these venues? Founders Cup feels like it's more of a big event now, or Wilshire, those sorts of things. I'm sure the transgender stuff is going to pop up at some point with her. Like, she's got a lot of shit come down the pike at her, but she seems very, very, very aware of it and very much like, all right, like, I'm going to handle this stuff as it comes. But I think she's got the, she's got a team in place. She knows who she can trust within the organization. She knows who she can trust, inside of golf as well, golf at large, because it's not easy to fill like big shoes as well, Sure. And so I don't know. I went into it skeptical. I emerged from it thinking, you know what, like I think she deserves a few years of, hey, let's see what her ideas are. Let's give her some time to implement said ideas, and then we can judge her after year 3 or after year 4.
Let me just quickly add, I had voiced a lot of my frustrations around broadcast and stuff like that, which to her credit, very, very aware of. I think finding ways to grow the eyeballs on the game is going to be a big priority for her. I know she's got, sounds like she's got some good ideas with potential streaming options. So we'll see. Ultimately the proof will be in the pudding. But as Tron said, I think I went into the day like, okay, I'm going to set the expectations not like low, but I'm not going in. I'm going in with a little skepticism. And she was just, I think, Tron, my favorite thing you said was like, she was just very real. And I never got the sense she was, just speaking in cliches or, just telling us what we wanted to hear. It felt like we were having a real conversation, and I really appreciated that. So I come out of it. I'm rooting for her and much more optimistic maybe than I would have been going in.
And I'm excited to get her on the podcast as well. And then,
that was my question. So no pod with her though.
Not this week, but we will make it happen.
Okay. I hope so, because that's kind of my issue with her. Is like I want to hear from her. And
she was very effacing about that too. She said, "Hey, like I need to take control of my own messaging and really get out there." But I think she's focused on like, what is my message, right? She's focused on that. Like, she hasn't even been on the job a year. She's like a couple weeks shy of a year. So, and the LPGA had to know. Yeah, but the LPGA had to know coming in. All right, we're bringing somebody in from totally outside of golf. She's very well regarded at Princeton. Like, let's give her some time to get her, to get her feet under her.
Okay. So. Cody, anything to add? I know you were out there too.
No, I agree. I think I came away like completely fired up with her, not only as a commissioner, but like her as just a person and her as a mom. I think she spent more time like getting to know us personally and our families and the backstory of no laying up and everything, and was like very invested in it. So very, very happy to chop it up with her on the pod. And she accepted the invite. We just got to figure out when it is. But I think that's totally downplaying the fact that the pro in our group was Maya Stark, who like buy all the stock in the world. And we don't say that just because of like our love affair with the Swedes. I think that's pretty obvious. But man, what a phenomenal fucking player, man. She's going to be so, so good. And I think maybe, the last year I've probably cut her a little short just because of Lynn Grant and everything that we hear about Lynn's coming and everything else like that. I didn't realize this, but Maya, Lynn, and Ludwig were in the same graduating class. They went to school together at the West Coast Swedish Academy, and like developed at their own pace and everything else like that. But literally, you want to talk about like people who are about to set professional golf, both on the men's and women's side, on fire. Like, it's pretty cool to realize that they all come from the same little class in Western Sweden.
She has a really cool move too. She kind of like, she doesn't hit down on the ball. She just hits it super straight, but she hits the back of the ball like square on. So she doesn't put a whole lot of spin on it, or she kind of she hits up on it, but she hits it up on it with her body. It's really interesting. Just remarkably straight golfer.
She also pulled one of the funniest moves. I'm going to throw this picture up here, but like, we didn't really get hit into that much, but like one time very noticeably did, and there's no call. And she like grabs a handful of tees out of her pocket. I'm like, what are you doing? Like playing on the ground or whatever. And she's like, oh yeah, I just leave a little 4 here. That way they know next time to fucking yell it. I was like, haven't
Cody,
seen that
I
one
didn't even get that. I saw her do the 4 and I'm like, what's the significance of the 4? It didn't occur to me that, yeah. You know what? The other thing I liked from the International Crown was the jerseys. Jerseys were sweet.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people dumping on the numbers. I thought it was fucking like really cool and personal for them, and like it brought the team dynamic in like even more than it was.
Yeah, and like Maya's number was 8. We're like, hey, why's your number 8? She's I was like, I turned pro in August. I won my first event in August. I won with a number 8.
Yeah, Titleist 8.
Titleist golf ball, like, and like from a spectator perspective, it's super easy once you have the program. It's super easy to look across the course and see who is who when you see the numbers on the back of the jersey. So,
love it. All right. Well, look out for some LPGA content this week. As we said, Lilia Vu interview Tuesday. Randy and Cody breaking down the International Crown and LPGA schedule and a look ahead as well. LPGA Founders Cup is in New Jersey this week. I was going to try to. Lauren Coughlin asked me to caddy this week, and I can't do it because I'm down in Jack's. But I was bummed, man. I said like, I know Randy. I know you've done that. DJ's caddy for. I was like, really, really bummed, but I didn't want to like, oh, let me, I'm getting back Wednesday. It's like, nah, that's not really what we're going to do. And then a couple other announcements. US Women's Open will have ShotLink. Exciting news there. And Gabby Ruffles wins on the Epson Tour this week.
Yeah, I threw that in there. Gabby's a good player. She's starting to buck her head a little bit.
She's going to have her card. Yeah, she'll be on tour next year.
For sure. And we'll do big things on tour. Just needed a place to play at. Like she's phenomenal.
Kind of like her brother.
Yeah.
She got a place on tour before her brother. So, yeah.
So moving on, quick on the Italian Open over at Marco
National
Simone.
Open.
We've got DJ, Mr. Ben Hameen, and Sali are over there doing some content, getting prepped for the Ryder Cup. So we're out on site. I think we can get a breakdown from them next week. I mean, time change, we haven't really caught up with them, but Adrian Moronk wins by 1 over TC. Help me out here.
Romain Langasque.
Romain Langasque, thank you very much. All 4 rounds in the 60s. And of course, TC had to throw this in there. Nikolai Højgaard, final round 65 to finish in a tie for 5th.
It's a big time event because it's where the Ryder Cup is. So you want to see somebody flash a little bit of form. Speaking of which, my guy Big Bob McIntyre, defending champ, had a WD with a back issue. So hope he's all right.
That's tough. Hey, did you guys see the little chatter about everybody being like, "Oh, the stands are completely empty. Look at this.
They weren't built yet."
Yeah, they're not even fucking built yet, man.
God, Randy loves a good build out.
They're
Nothing
completely
gets
blocked
the
up.
big guy.
And to make it to make this point even further, like it's still an active construction zone, so these knuckleheads had to wear these jackets just to go up there.
A live look in at some content that will be coming your way late summer.
I'm surprised they even let Sali on site after all the shit that he talks about the DP World Tour and National Opens and all sorts of shit.
Send a message.
No, sorry, DJ Ben, you guys come on in, but I'm sorry, Mr. Solomon, you can't have you on the grounds.
We're saying I think early word is maybe the course isn't beloved by some of the pros, which you guys know gets my juices flowing for the Ryder Cup.
I think you're softening the language for that.
What was the
sounds
quote?
like it's a little quirky. It was una catastrophe from one of the players on site.
The rough appears to be up, which I appreciate from the European side. It's like, rough that you can lose a ball in. And I tweeted it today, but I'm going to say it again. If Captain Luke Donald does not have Ludwig on the team, I don't think you guys gave Ludwig enough shine for his performance at Big 12 championships at Prairie Dunes.
I did. I've been riding for Ludwig. I'm the only guy that's picked him in our weekly pick show, TC. You don't even ride for him when the Nuggies are on the line.
It was only the Big 12s, man. What else? What else do you want?
Do it at the NCAAs.
You know what, TC? I'm going to hijack this. I'm going to use this as an opportunity to call out my guy Nathan Hahn from Columbia. First Columbia golfer to make the NCAAs. How about that? Go Lions. Ever. Yes. He'll be playing in the regional up in Bath, Michigan. But he's also tied the records. Shot 61 back in the fall. Tied the NCAA, low score record. So he's balling out, man. And Columbia will be represented in the NCAAs.
We had some other DP World news. They announced that Poulter, Westy, Sergio, aka Big Tex, and Blandy, Randy's guy Blandy, have all resigned their membership in the wake of the arbitration ruling. Like if that's not reason enough to turn this thing over to the youngsters on the European side, Moronk's another one. Moronk winning there, like, he's playing great golf right now.
I think you have to turn it over to the youngsters, man.
Yeah.
Like, get them some reps. It's a quirky course. I could co-sign that, TC. I was saying that on our Ryder Cup update in February. Like, get some young blood in there and try to build for the future. I mean, it's like a murderer's row on the U.S. side. Like, I don't know. I think that's your best bet. So I'm with you.
I know you're excited for this week. Going to your favorite tournament on the DP World Tour this week.
What, in Belgium?
The Soudal Open in Belgium.
Nothing gets me jacked up like going up to the to like Flanders and the Low Country. Randy, I love getting below sea level, baby. Getting sub sea level gets me jacked up. Flanders, baby. Let's go. I'm all about it.
People used to call me Flanders for a while.
You know what? This is way off base.
You're a philanderer.
I need you guys. I need some help from you. My nephew, TC's son, Gustav, keeps calling me. He can't say uncle. He keeps calling me Inky Neil, and I think it's like yeah, Inky Neil, and I feel like it's a great descriptor.
Inky Neil, bad guy.
But I don't know what
Neil.
Inky should describe. I want so badly to describe someone on tour as inky. Like, God, that guy's so inky. But I don't know. It's like, what's he doing? So I'm going to put that out to the people as well. Like, if you have a good description, like, who do you think the inkiest player on tour is? And explain to me why that is. That's a challenge. And if I get any good ones, maybe I'll dish out some pro shop credit or something. I don't know.
Luke in the chat brings up an interesting point too about P. Did P resign his membership with the DP World Tour? I know he's an honorary lifetime member, I think, at this point.
That's a great question.
Or is Lady J looking at a legal loop? Allegedly.
All that stuff. Of course. All right. Anything else from the Italian Open? Marco Simone, the world.
Uncle Yost.
Oh, yeah. Solly met his Uncle Yost, which was cool. We'll be thrilled to see that footage come out later. But, guys, I want to get to the main event tonight. I want to have a little golf check-in with you two. Randy, I know you've been all over the map. You had a little personal trip out to Bandon. Would like to hear a little bit about that. TC, you've been Mr. Worldwide. Scotland, out to some U.S. and U.S. Women's Open media days, playing some heavyweight golf. I've had a couple of rounds recently, so I just want to get a check-in. So, Randy, let's start with you.
Where'd you play recently?
Yeah, I didn't.
Let's start with you, big guy.
I went down. I got invited by a friend to go play down at Pine Valley in
Splash World.
Yeah, I played around there earlier this week, and I really liked it. Shocker! I really liked the course. It was really difficult.
Did you leave a Golf Now review?
No, I didn't. I wanted to. They had the coolest thing is like the halfway house has like 1 million logoed golf balls, and I was like, I wanted to like leave an NLU one, but I kind of felt like that's the kind of thing that gets you like not asked to come back. So I didn't do that.
Marketing.
But the course is really cool, very unique place. And I would say if you want a little breakdown,
very cool.
Did you tag the shitter?
No, I didn't. I was on my P's and Q's. I shot an 81. I made 3 birdies. I made 3 doubles. Randy, you'll love this. I made all my doubles. I made putts over 5 feet for double.
Those are good doubles.
No X's on the card. I mean, we're talking blue collar. Made a double on one. Made like I 2 putted for double on one, which was still classy. I started off like +5, +6 through 5, and then got it back on the rails and birdied 11, birdied 12, and birdied 17, and then I doubled 18, which was super cool. So yeah, TC, my favorite holes, number 8 was really cool. I know a lot of people don't know what I'm talking about, but for those that do, number 8 looks like it's got 2 different greens. It looks like this massive cavernous bunker. It looks like somebody's doing open heart surgery on the green, just ripping the sternum out. Very cool. 11 and 13, I think, is probably one of the best holes I've ever played. The place reminded me so much, especially on the back nine, of Bandon Trails. I just kept thinking this is the inspiration for Bandon Trails. And I think that's a compliment to both places because Bandon Trails is one of my favorites.
Did you get dressed down by anyone there?
No.
Like your NGLA experience?
No, I didn't go in the founders locker room. I did not, I honestly didn't do anything wrong, which is really cool.
Really you know
cool.
of. Yeah.
I was going to say,
I'm
sure you did something wrong.
I mean, honestly, probably me talking about this is wrong. So that could be wrong. But I felt like it was a pretty, once your name was on the list, very hospitable place. It felt like a summer camp for very, very influential people, Randy. It felt like a bit of a Bohemian Grove on the East Coast. Not that I've been to the Bohemian Grove, but that's what I imagine it would be like. So very cool. Randy, the other thing I'd say that I really liked about it was each hole is its own environment. So which is why I think it trails, you don't see any of the holes from other holes. So everything's kind of a surprise when you turn the corner for the next tee. And I just feel like a nice hike in the woods is the vibe you get. And while hiking in the woods, you're playing a very, very, very good golf course. And I think it's so a lot of the holes are just super intimidating, but if you hit the shots, you can score. So it was pretty cool. So that's my update on golf this week. Randy, take us for a spin around your golf game lately. I'd love to know where your little handicap check-in, and where have you played recently?
Well, yeah, I think it's out there, right? You and I had gone to the greater Phoenix area at the end of February, was it? Beginning of March, to
capture some content.
Yeah,
just a small art project that we felt like doing.
So I played a couple times there. I made a random trip. Well, it wasn't random, but I made a trip down to Dallas and got to play Stevens Park with Mr. Bob Sturm. Felt like I played well there. And then,
I can't believe you didn't stop in at TPC Craig Ranch.
I know.
While you were down there too.
I know. And then went out to Bandon on a fun trip. Guys, it was first of all, anytime you go out to Bandon, of course, it's just a wonderful place to be. April, the gorse was in full bloom, but man, the weather was tough.
You got.
Yeah, we got a little bit. The first day we arrived, we played Sheep Ranch in the afternoon. I think I shot a 91, was very disappointed with that. Probably the easiest course there. And then we played each of the courses. The big bummer was the next morning was our trails day. We got through 4 holes, and literally it was coming down so hard that the greens were just pooling. They became unplayable.
A true Splash World situation.
Yeah, sort of like for anybody that's watched Tourist Sauce when we were out at Monterey Country Club out
Peninsula
there
Country Club
with the water just flowing on the greens. That was our trail. So we walked off, couldn't play. The rest of the trip, I think the big revelation was playing Pack Dunes in a south wind, which was the first time I'd played it in a south wind. It was a lot more manageable of a golf course, I felt like, in a south wind as opposed to what I've been playing before that in a north wind. I don't think it bumps up my rankings at all. I think I would still put it last among the Bandon courses.
God,
but
that's such a sick block.
But it was more playable. So I do want to put that on the record. Old Mac was great. We got hailed on, which was fun. Had to take about a 20-minute timeout. I was literally, I felt like an animal trying to take cover in the gorse.
Got put in the cooler.
Yeah. That's I think that's such an underrated walk. Old Mac is great. And then Bandon. So yeah, I mean, all these rounds, Neil, are just kind of in the mid to upper 80s. I didn't make a birdie on the whole Bandon trip, which kind of sucked.
Whoa. That's incredible. There's some options out there for you, big man. That's sick.
Had some good looks too. God, I can't tell you how many good looks I had.
What's the birdie count at for 2023?
Well, I played golf this morning at a little place called Cherry Hills here in Denver.
Heard of it?
Ever heard of it? It's a William Flynn design. Going to be hosting the U.S. Amateur this summer.
Flynn?
and I did make a birdie today, and so I saw where I've made 11 birdies now in the year.
Getting back to altitude, he starts feeding again.
Double digits for my guy. I love it.
Yeah, I people will see I played Pebble Beach, got to play Pebble Beach as part of the women's media day there. That round is going to be on camera. I won't give too much away. And then
well, let me ask you this, Brandon. Yeah. Generally, like not scoring, but striking it well.
You know, I've felt like I've never hit my driver better. The driver is really good. The big change with our switch over to Titleist is they fit me into irons that are plus 1.75 inches, and all my Callaway irons were plus 2 inches. So I feel like there's just a little bit of adjustment, slightly shorter irons.
You're still getting to know the hybrids too.
And I'm still getting to know the hybrids. That's exactly right. You know where I think my golf game has been suffering a little bit, Neil, is I got that really right-hand dominant tennis motion going. And so I gotta figure that out, because all my misses are just really big hooks left. And I think that's just because I'm like all right arm in my golf swing.
Topspin guy. I love it.
Yeah, but the driver's great. The irons will be really good. I mean, when I hit them well, they're fantastic. The wedges are great. The putter and I are still warming up to each other. Quite honestly, that was the big thing in Bandon. I think my combined feet of putts made in 5 rounds was probably 70 feet.
It's not great.
We got the whole season ahead of us. So actually, the weather's turned here in Denver. It's spring has arrived, so I'm looking forward to getting out here. A lot of city courses. We have a Roost major coming up the second weekend of June that I'm signed up for. So I feel optimistic about my game, all in all.
TC, give us a rundown. Where are you at?
Oh man, lot of different directions I can go. I thought I was going to go to Scotland. I hadn't played much prior. Like I went to Australia, New Zealand, and then came home and didn't play a whole lot, and then went straight off to Scotland. And it took me a couple rounds to kind of get off the bus there. Driver is just continues to be awesome. We've completely eradicated the high right spinny ball without even putting the left miss in play either. I'm just hitting fairway after fairway after fairway and farther than I have. And back to a little bit shorter driver too, which is huge.
Not a mini driver though.
No, it's just like a 40. It's like a 3/4 of an inch shorter. It's like a 44.75 or whatever.
What's the loft on your driver?
11. I was hitting a 9-degree driver, tuned down to 8 before. I'm still in an extra stiff shaft. I'm in a Ventus black now, but yeah, that like I used to play a shorter driver, and I don't know why I got away from it. And being back to it, I just feel like I have that much more control and timing with it. But yeah, I'm hitting up on the ball. The driver off the deck is a weapon. I can tee it low, hit this little, like low stinger draw with it now too. It's crazy. The 3-wood's awesome. They put me in this 24-degree hybrid that has been a total game changer for me. Still getting used to the 7-wood a little bit. And then struggling with my irons a little bit, guys. Wedges are good. Chipping's fine. And the putter's been a revelation. The claw,
TC's full-time claw.
Oh, I have not. I don't think I've hit a single putt outside of like a lag putt from off the green. I don't think I've hit a putt inside of 25 feet without the claw since I went to it at Falsterbo on our Sweden trip. It was, I feel completely freed up. There's no yip at all. I putted really, really well in California when we were there. Playing off all sorts of different kinds of turf with the irons. I'm in the T100s. I'm not sure I'm good enough right now to be hitting the T100s. I think when I'm playing well,
me and you both, TC. Me and you both.
Man, like just the mishits aren't, like I've got the T200 5-iron. When I miss-hit that thing, it still goes. When I miss-hit the 6-iron, it doesn't go quite as far. That's a me problem, but I'm kind of curious I've got a wandering eye right now. Look at it, maybe more of a combo set than I currently have.
Guys, I'm telling you, man, I wouldn't say the opposite boat, but I am just loving the T100Ss. I'm hitting my irons really, really well. And driver, I'm still figuring out we've eliminated the left side of the golf course, but I'm kind of still trying to. I think I had a lot of gauze and bandages on my swing from kind of self-diagnosing some issues, and so now I'm trying to convince myself that left isn't a problem, and the right miss is there a little bit. So we need to dial in the driver. Couple things. Well, first off, what's your handicap at, TC? We're playing tomorrow, so I'd like to know if you logged in these scores.
I gotta post a ton of scores. I didn't.
All right. Well, why don't you do that before, like tonight?
I will.
Before,
I will. I'm currently. Well,
overnight.
it's probably gonna go up, so it's not gonna. I'm at a 4.1 right now. Which Solly was aghast when he had to give me 4 shots.
That's
LACC.
surprising. I'm up to a 3.1 from a low last year of 1.9, but I kind of like my stats. I mean, last 20 rounds, high of 84. Average of 78.6, which is down at like a stroke from the year before. And then a low score. Randy, still that Pilgrim's Run round, 73.
Oh, you played so well there.
That was that score probably just got dropped, actually, now that I posted another one. But the scoring average is down, but I don't have anything low. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of 76, 77, but more consistent. So I like that. Randy, what are we looking at with you?
I'm at 8.9 index at the moment. I just pulled it up. I've logged 12 rounds in 2023, and my high is 91. My low is 79. My scoring average right now 85.5. So it's fine.
You had a goal to be
get a little
6?
better.
Then we push you on the goals pod to get to a 6.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to do some work, but I feel good. Honestly, it felt good to come back here to Denver, play in some elevation, play a nice Parkland course. Yeah, we'll see. I overall I like where I'm headed. I'm gonna practice my ass off this summer mentally. So
I feel like one thing I've got is just the
I didn't miss
I feel
that.
like I've made some structural improvements to the house. I've done some deferred maintenance.
Well, hold on. Is this the analogy? Because I wanted to make sure I put in here and stole a couple of these from my guy DJ Pie. But analogy time. My golf game right now is like what? And
yeah,
TC, it seems like you're going that direction.
It's like I had some cracks in my foundation, so I'm trying to kind of solidify those, be able to look towards the next 20 years and not have to worry about anything. I think something else is I'm still getting used to. I think changing all 14 clubs plus the ball at the same time is tough, and there's going to be some results yielded that are unexpected as you go through that. And I think that's where I'm at with the wedges is figuring out, all right, what are my spin rates? What are my getting the ball? I'm hitting the ball like I used to hit it when I was in high school in a good way. I hit it's tight draw, and I've really shouted out my swing a lot, and I'm not putting a ton of backspin on it. Whereas I worked for a long time on eliminating the left miss and just trying to hit cuts. So I knew, especially with my irons, I knew exactly how far the ball was going to go. Didn't miss long, didn't miss short. I would just miss kind of left or right. And now I'm kind of back to all right, this is, it's a good problem, but I got to figure out this draw and figure out is that my real shot shape, or, do I want to get back to hitting a cut?
I struggle with, is that my real shot shape, or is that my shot shape on a perfect day? When the body's feeling good and everything's timed up, and sometimes it's man, should I just not try to, if I'm not going to practice enough, should I aspire to hit it like that? Does that make sense?
Totally.
Yeah.
Right. I struggle with that a little bit because I have a little bit of the same thing going on, TC, more so off the tee. And then something I've struggled a little bit with adjusting to the new wedges. I think they're much better for me, but like I said earlier, I was hitting wedges that probably weren't good for me, but I learned how to hit them. And so specifically, I have more bounce now. I'm struggling. Cody saw it in Austin. I'm struggling out of the bunkers, and I've used bunker plays to be just, something I celebrated in my game. And now I feel I'm okay, let's make sure we take enough sand here. We're thinking about good contact, Randy, which is never where you want to be. That's we're not thinking about, getting it close. We're thinking about getting it out. And that's a
total opposite for me with the wedges. I feel like I'm playing with an old friend that I can get out of a bunker now for the first time, and like I'm playing offense out of a bunker now. It's crazy. My chipping's gotten better. I'm still figuring out my gapping with like my 48 and my 47 and my 51 degree wedges. I'm kind of gonna try to change that up a little bit. One other thing, all these Kiwis just keep coming at me. TC, where'd you play down here? I'm ashamed. I'm embarrassed. I only played 2 golf courses when I was down there. So I will come back and make a proper return trip. I promise.
Randy, you got an analogy for your golf game right now.
I'm in a spot where it's it's the game show no whammies right now. I just, you never quite know when they're coming during the round. It could be a catastrophic pull hook. I've sprinkled in a few shanks. I shanked one this morning. That was not good. So ultimately, I'm not doing a good enough job really knowing where the golf ball is going and being able to miss in good spots. When everything goes well, it feels great. It looks great. The results are great, but we got some whammies popping up right now. So I feel like my golf rounds are no whammies, no whammies, no whammies every time I'm over the ball.
Neil, how's your have your patented ball flights made the trek with you?
The F16 ball has,
the F16, the Bad Santa, the
Bad Santa's definitely bucking.
County.
I'm still hitting the ball
Tyler
high.
Durden.
Yeah, I pull a Durden out every once in a while, but the chloroform ball's pretty much been eliminated, which is cool to see. I would say if I had an analogy for my game right now, it's kind of that SpaceX Starship test launch, like test flight. It's like the results would indicate
it's a success, but
yeah, the results would indicate that it was a kind of a failure early in the year. Like there was a what they call it, a rapid unscheduled disassembly in several rounds.
I was trying to Google what it was. Yeah.
So the automated flight explosion system was kicked in a few times. But if you talk to the experts, they're like the insiders, like, I feel like I'm hitting the ball good. I feel like we've crossed a few steps where it's like, oh yeah, the left ball's not there. That's not why we're blowing up. It's like, oh, I just need to learn how to hit this wedge out of the bunker, or I need to, Randy.
We may have destroyed the launch pad.
Yeah. I played like the 3 rounds I played in New York, other than this week at Pine Valley. Like the greens had all been just like frozen like a week before the greens were punched and stuff. So it's like, a little bit of like, hey, it's early season here.
Surgery was a success, but the patient died.
Yeah, like
patient ultimately succumbed.
Yeah, but there wasn't much we could do, right? No, we're getting off the launch pad, but are we going to get to the moon yet, or Mars? No, maybe not. We got some things we got to figure out, but I think we got big things ahead. And this is going to allow us to take lots of payload into space. That's kind of where I'm at. Like we're
building for the future.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, and I have some big, I'm signed up for 2 Met Golf Association events, the Pub Links in June.
Where at?
Randy, I'm playing in the Camargo member guest with my guy LB, a little bushy.
Jesus.
The Strap Boys are fucking dead. I mean,
these are invites. DC. The Strap Boys have always said they'll take invites. They'll take Cody. They'll take invites.
I think the Met Pub Links will be the first public round Neil's played in the New York area.
That's untrue. That's not.
That's like 3 years.
That's unfair.
Come on. Do you even know a public golf course around there?
Neil was at a Quaker Ridge a couple weeks ago.
That was for a charity outing. Come on. They asked the former kid to come out and play. What do you want me to do? Cody beat my doors off in Austin. That was not a public course that we played either. So, listen.
Seriously, when's the last time you played a public course?
Last
in
time
Arizona?
I played yeah, I think so. But I hadn't really played golf since, but it was like Arizona, then Austin, and then I played the last 3 rounds. I have been on a little bit of a heater. I went out with our guy, Harbo on the Refuge. Barry we went out to Rockaway Hunting Club, had a delightful day, played in some heavy wind. Quaker Ridge was a scramble, so that doesn't count. And then I played, we did Smoker Spring Training at Liberty National, TC's favorite spot. And then Pine Valley. Yeah, I've been on a heater, Randy. Jesus. I'm not going to apologize for it.
TC, I'm playing Publix. I was down at Pebble Beach earlier this week. I was doing the pro-am at TPC Harding Park. You told
me you didn't want to play Bel Air.
Exactly.
You said you wouldn't feel comfortable.
I'm still a strap boy.
That's
played Cherry Hills
disgusting.
this morning.
That's
Cherry Hills. Come on.
Shout out to Ben Rector. I was playing with Ben Rector.
You take invites too. That's what this is all about. You can't say no. That'd be disrespectful.
When he came down to Dallas, he said that he played with Sturm, which he did at Keaton, what I thought used to be a very good public track in town. I was also present. He failed to mention that, but the greens are coming back, Big. I got good things to report. It's finally warming up.
They couldn't have gotten any further away. So
we're coming back. It takes heat to get that Bermuda going.
Cody, let's get an update from you. Where's your game stand?
We're okay. I'm missing some things left. The wedges, the bounce and everything. I absolutely love them. I'm just spinning the shit out of them. So all these like full swings and everything, I just have really, really bad spin control right now. But I think the guys will say, like, we played in the scramble. I think I held myself together okay. The day prior, played at the California Golf Club of San Francisco.
Jeez.
I don't know if you've ever been there, Neil, but Cal Club is nice. I played great. So we're in a good spot. I think I'm still like a 1.9, but probably trending down. So that's difficult. Happy. I'm preparing myself for the next ATM match with you. So we'll see when that's going to be.
Something I am excited about. I got I kind of took the plunge and did a little 5-iron deal. Got a little simulator membership that I'm going to go in and I'm going to take driving iron, and my putter, and I'm going to go over the next month and hit balls in the simulator and get some work in the morning. You can go in I can go in when people are at work. So I think I can go in and get like some time on the sim. And I if that's what I have to do in New York City to groove something off the tee, that's what we're going to do. But I want to do well in some of these competitive golf events I'm signed up for. And of course, Randy, the member guest season is upon us. So
of course,
we got to get ready for that too. Get that pro shop credit.
Please direct all inquiries to Neil at No Laying Up.
Of course. Let's get my email out. What are you doing, man? What are you doing? I don't need that. Come on, the bots are watching.
You might. It could be some great invites rolling in.
Yeah, I know, but you don't. Sometimes you don't want it because it's like I just don't have any time. I can't get
guys.
there.
I've figured out my putting so much to the point where I put a putting green in my backyard because I like hitting this Scotty Cameron Newport so much. I just can't get enough of it. I just go out there and putt every night.
What are you stimping at in the backyard, TC?
I think it's like a 9.5 right now. I'm trying to speed it up. This is a process involved. Correct. Yeah.
There we go. Good stuff. Randy, you got any like tournament golf coming up? You gonna be hitting cups?
The Roost Major. Shout out to the one here in Denver.
The Herb Rollers.
Yeah, the Herb Rollers. We're playing, like I said, the second weekend of June. So that'll be, God, I hope we're hitting cups. I'll be hitting cups. Not doing don't have any like, CGA tournament golf on the books. Doubt we'll do any of that.
It doesn't have to be like that kind of tournament golf. I'm actually trying to build all year. I'm signed up for the New York Roost Club, Roost Major. Yeah, that's in September though, so I got some time to work towards that and some of our events in the back half of the season. TC, you got any big events coming up?
I just played in an Open Championship at Dunaverty in Scotland, Western Scotland.
Like a legit one?
What was it?
It's called? Like a medal. It was a medal. It's called the McVicker Open. Jock McVicker. It was this. Awesome. It was in honor of this legendary sports writer in Scotland. Yeah, it was great. I think we came in. It was like a best ball. It was a best ball Stableford thing. I think we came in second to last, but I had a great time doing it. Played some competitive golf against my friend Jim Hartzell. Our friend Jim Hartzell. We're in Scotland. We had some great matches. We had an ongoing match throughout the entire trip going as well. So really, really excited about what we filmed in Scotland. It's going to be. I don't think I've ever been this excited about a golf trip. It was awesome.
How's the jet lag working out for you there, TC?
I'm fine. Been pretty fine. I think the London to LA flight was a little bit of a ball buster.
Oh.
Yeah, and then I got my nasal surgery this week. So
big news.
Yeah,
TC,
Neil and I are going to the tree farm tomorrow, and then
yeah,
I got my surgery.
That's an invite from TC, Randy. I had to go.
Entrapment.
True entrapment. He's trying to lure me in with C-suite gifts. It's unbelievable. Cody, you got any competitive golf?
I did. I signed up for the Mid-Am qualifier. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I'm signed up to play somewhere in Texas, but I'll be there. Mid-Am qualifier this year. And I sent it in Slack just for you guys to hold me accountable.
Well, I wanted you to tell the people. Are you still hitting the Rangers facility for your practice?
All the time. But I also 2 weeks ago I played in the Tuesday night scramble at this beautiful community called Keaton Park down here in Dallas. So we of course won the Tuesday night scramble, the team that I was on. I plan on playing again tomorrow night. Awesome. Get out there. League starts at 5:30, play 9 holes, get it in, meet a lot of awesome people. Tons of NLU supporters. So excited to add it to the schedule this week. And, who knows? I'm going to be, the rest of my time this week is going to be up at Craig T. Nelson Ranch. So
are you going up for it?
Of course.
Oh God. So a bunch of press releases came out last week or a couple weeks ago about how they fully enclosed one of those par 3s.
Yeah.
They're calling it Byron's Ranch or something like that. Stay vigilant out there, Cody. Okay.
Well, I thought that's why you made me move to Dallas, is because you wanted me to stay on top of the sportsman's club and everything else that we have running amok around here.
The sportsmanship club, not the
sportsmanship club. Of course.
Very different.
Well, the sportsman's club where I go.
No, I thought it was a salesmanship club. I thought
it
was.
You're right.
Yeah. No, it was a sales thing. Come on.
Cody, you're playing in more USGA qualifying events than Taylor Gooch is this year. I thought that was kind of chicken shit from him to bitch about the exemption thing and then not at least sign up for the US Open sectional.
Well, I don't know if it was an exemption. I mean, he was qualified.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of. I feel
like
I don't say it. I'm kind of team.
I'm kind of team Gooch as well, but I would have at least been like, you know what? If they're not going to let me in, I'm going to qualify my way in.
Yeah,
sure.
I get that.
But I also get his complaint. I think that was just
totally. It was petty on the USGA's part.
Unnecessary.
Yeah.
Randy, I feel like you wanted to get something in there for a second. You got a question?
Well, great segue. I was just thinking about competitive golf. Our buddy, props to Matty B, qualified through locals. We'll be playing in sectionals.
Yeah.
And if it works with my calendar, I'm gonna try to go caddy for him at Springfield Country Club.
Oh, he's doing Springfield?
Yeah, he's hoping to do
Sick.
Springfield. Yeah, it's gonna get confirmed in the next week or two. So
nice.
Could have 36 holes of competitive looping in my future, hopefully.
You have that in the cards, Big?
I'm a workhorse. I think I got it.
They let you take a little buggy for it? A little push card?
Maybe the second 18, I hope.
And Randy, you saw it in US Open conditions when we had our event there.
I know.
Too,
people are still mad at you for those pin placements, TC. That was sick. That was sweet.
That was sick. Never apologize, TC.
Do you think they're going to give us that much control this year at Frisco?
No, hope so.
Yeah. Watch this space.
I got a couple more things on the various stuff. Do we want to issue a statement about KVV's divot pattern?
It was a tough scene.
I mean, as he said, he doesn't warm up a lot on grass. He's hitting off turf a lot. I don't know.
This is Sully made a very good point. This is like a learned habit over time. Like this isn't something like this. This should be way better than what it is.
This is like pre-crime.
Yes.
It needs to improve. Let's say that. But I don't think it's
HR's
I don't think you start playing golf and immediately know that you're supposed to put all your divots together on the range. Like I don't know when I found that out, but I was like, oh, okay. I don't want to make anybody mad, especially
Randy
the supers,
loves
Randy,
because he hates the supers.
I know. Well, you got to give them something to do. I think they'll be okay. I think it's a bit overblown.
Randy, speaking of the supers,
what else?
Any big takeaways from LACC or Pebble? I know you were just astonished at the size of the build out at LACC. This guy loves a good build out.
I will say I am very, no sarcasm, very much looking forward to the Men's Open at LACC. I think it could be a fantastic venue on television. Let's pray they need it to be very firm to protect the course, some very wide fairways, but it's just a super cool setting. You're just in the heart of Los Angeles, some really interesting holes. You can see a couple here on screen. I came away maybe as excited, more excited than I've been for a men's US Open in quite a long time. And then the women, first time ever at Pebble. I mean, sign me up. If the wind blows like it did on our media day, it was probably 20 to 25 sustained, and then
35 gusts
up into the 30s. If it does that for the women, must see TV. I want to see how they handle that. It's going to be a real battle of attrition.
Yeah, I think LACC is going to be both an absolute spectacle on TV, one of the best US Opens ever from a visual perspective, and also, like, unless you're in a corporate box there, it's going to be really hard to watch golf.
Yeah,
like,
I think
there's a lot of logistics involved. There's a lot of choke points. There's certain, like, almost entire holes that crowds aren't going to be able to get back to.
I mean, that
sounds
said,
there's some
like an LA thing,
totally
right? Like that's
very on brand.
On brand for Los Angeles.
The mayor of LA spoke at the media day. Randy was chatting her up.
I love it. The
Christy
city's
Yamaguchi
excited.
and Brandy Chastain were at the U.S. Women's Open media day.
Guys, what if I told you Brandy Chastain is a grandmother? That made my jaw drop. I'm like, how could that possibly be that she has grandchildren? That makes me feel so old.
Couple other news and notes. Shane Ryan had a really well-reported piece on pace of play. I still, he rode around with Gary Young, the tour's chief referee. Still not down with it's really complicated, so we can't do anything to fix it. It's like, no, like,
we could do a few
fucking
things.
Figure it out, guys. Yeah, like, let's try something. Lance 10 Brook died. This was a fascinating story. Did you guys see this one?
I did.
No.
I didn't get deep in it though.
He, obviously unfortunate that he passed away. It sounded like he was pretty much a living legend. Last Call Lance was his nickname. Just kind of a lifer out there. Caddied and played in the same tournament. So he missed the cut and then he hopped on the bag to caddy. Caddied for Jesper for a long time. Just really played. He got into a tournament as an alternate, played 2 rounds with borrowed equipment, shot 71-70, and then missed the cut by 2 shots. And then he caddied for Jesper at La Cantera after that. So it's just really, really interesting character that there doesn't seem to be a whole lot like him out on tour anymore these days. So Jim Furyk was named President's Cup captain for the U.S. side for 2024 at Royal Montreal.
That's exciting.
I mean, Jim's a good guy. At some point, I feel like the tour needs to bust out Anthony Kim or something. Be like, hey, you know what? We're trying to breathe some life into the President's Cup. Anthony Kim, help us out, man.
I would watch. That sounds
right?
Exciting.
That sounds exactly like something the tour would do.
And Anthony Kim. That sounds like he'd be all over it.
All right, little quick housekeeping section, and then I'm going to let you go. The bell's about to ring. Okay, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate
you. Got recess.
You guys hanging out with me and taking it easy on the sub. So we got the TC. I think people were digging the Trap Draw Owners Pod. I've already prepped for episode 2, so that's exciting. It sounds like you guys got a chop session coming down the pike this week.
We do.
We already recorded. Yeah.
What can people expect you to be monitoring this week?
TC, what was the? Oh, well, I mean, I think Jackson Mahomes getting arrested was probably the
lead story.
The lead story.
Yeah. Jackson Mahomes, kids' birthday parties in LA. Had some air travel.
Seaweed potentially coming.
Yeah, there's a massive seaweed blob in the Atlantic that we're monitoring.
Okay, we don't want to spoil too much. That's great stuff, guys.
We'll leave it there.
Please go check out the Trap Draw wherever you get your podcast. We got some good LPGA content coming, of course.
I'll say this. Yeah, sorry, real quick. Tuesday is going to be an interview with Lilia Vu. She just won her first major, the Chevron. Cody, back me up here. I walked out of that interview. It was just like, if I could buy all the stock in Lilia as a person and a player, I could not have been more impressed.
Yeah.
Who are we buying
head
more
on
stock
her shoulders?
Yeah. Maya or Lydia?
Well, I know he said that about Maya, but I'm buying. I love Maya, and Maya has such a good head on her shoulders. But Lilia, I'm buying. I've already put it in with my Schwab people. We will be buying all the stock when the market opens tomorrow morning.
Okay, that's good to know. That's
Randy.
Good,
Randy, you
good
sound like a member of
not
Congress.
financial advice.
Buying all this stock.
We're about to vote that out. Don't worry about it.
Obviously, we got the KVV fitting video. Go drop a comment in there if you want to win a Titleist driver fitting and a free driver potentially. Make it pithy, make it droll. Do some good work. Okay.
Make it
Quick.
We'll announce that next week. TC, we got a big week in the pro shop too. I just want to say, if you're not signed up for the newsletter.nolayingup.com, we'll be putting out a bunch of Roback stuff this week, which is exciting, along with some trap draw merch. Randy, we've got some themed T-shirts going out. A lot of good stuff starting to flow into the pro shop over the next month or two. So that's good stuff. And if you just want to go to the pro shop and take a look around, that stuff should be out Thursday. Nest members will get it Wednesday or Thursday, and then Friday will be publicly available to the newsletter. That's store.nolayingup.com. Cody, did I miss anything?
Nope. The only thing I'd add is that we got some, film rooms that'll roll out over the next month. Of course, we got LACC. The trip there will be a film room. The trip to Pebble will be a film room. The boys out in Italy right now will get a film room and a little bit of extra content out. And all of that just normally comes out the week prior of whatever major or Ryder Cup. So be on the lookout for that. But everything else
we've been on the road,
clean.
Man. We're grinding. Casey's grinding on the shop. A lot of hard work the last couple months, which it'll be fun to watch it all come out. Guys, thanks for joining me. Appreciate our sponsor, High Noon. Appreciate Titleist. Randy, go get your athletic greens. And I think that's a wrap.
Cheers, Neil. Great job, substitute teaching.
Yep.
Proud of you.
Amazing job, Neil.